Commander Cesap, sabi niya. Sabi ko, sir, thank you for the trust and confidence. Thank you for nominating me, for making me a candidate. Sabi niya, no, ikaw na ang commander ng CESAP. Ikaw ang napili among the others. Sir, I'm still too junior. Tapos din sabi ko, oh, yes sir, thank you sir. Gumano na lang ako. So okay, prepare. Paalam ka na dyan. So the rest is history. That was my first star.
Pero ano sir, fast forward, no? Hindi lang kayo naging 1 star, naging 3 stars din kayo, sir.
I was prepared to retire there. Honestly, I was prepared to retire. Because I knew, as you go up the ladder, it gets more difficult. You know, the service is like any other career. It has its own share of ups and downs. But you just have to move on. You have to do what you need to do, your job, do it the best, do it right the first time as much as possible. Then, yun, sinabi sa akin na I am designated as the Naval Inspector General. So yun, when I was designated there, sabi ko, this is it. I got it already. I got the 2nd star. Sabi ko sa wife ko, love, I call her love. We got our wish. Hanggang dito na lang tayo, I told her. After the episodes in my life, the not so good ones, I learned to be contented. I was already contented with quietly going to retire as perhaps the Naval Inspector General or the Vice Commander. But still, God gave me this opportunity, this position. There's only a small window of opportunity. If, especially in my position, 2 weeks lang yung pagitan namin nung pinalitan ko. So I was turning 55. 2 weeks nung pinalitan ko si Vice Admiral Kagawan, si Sir Eric. It was really a journey.
Listening to your career journey, no, what role did your family play? Kasi as a
Very
military
important.
wife, parang naiisip ko all the sacrifices, all the hardships of you going away for long periods of time. No? So what role did they play, sir, in propelling you forward?
The very important role talaga of my family, I cannot describe it, especially my wife, si Shan. If I have spent 38 years in the military, my wife spent her lifetime because she was born in a military family. My father-in-law is also a retired Navy officer and retired at the same rank as Vice Admiral, the same position. The last position that my father-in-law held, Vice Admiral Proceso Fernandez, class 1959, is the Deputy Chief of Staff position. And I am the 78th. So that is why very happy ang wife ko, especially my in-laws. Of course, my parents-in-law, my mother-in-law, and my father-in-law, they went ahead. So they never saw that I was designated. But I know they're smiling in heaven. Because of that, if not for my family, especially my wife, I will not be. We're fortunate na we stuck it out through thick and thin. And that's why I'm looking forward to retire para naman makabawi din ako sa misis ko. For my children din naman, it wasn't also easy for them. Kita ko yun. I have 2 children, my daughter, Jemima Shamel, and my son, Jeremiah Nathaniel. Both are UP Diliman graduates. Magna cum laude lang naman. Kaya I owe it to my wife. Kasi lagi ko sinasabi talaga, mana sa nanay. Because I was away most of the time. So, the role of my family, I cannot describe it. Without them, wala. Wala ako dito. I'll be leaving the armed forces better than what it was. For me, thinking lang na I'm part of that is, wow, ang ganda na way na yun na, what a way to exit the armed forces. I always tell my colleagues, where we are now is because of our predecessors. We didn't achieve this overnight. So, kaya wala akong also na-claim na single achievement. And whatever achievements you may call them, I cannot claim it. Yes, I'm the number 3 in the AFP, but without my colleagues, and I'm very fortunate na yung mga nakasama ko, naniwala sa akin, nakinig sa akin, maybe grudgingly, kasi syempre medyo, hindi medyo, I admit I'm a very assertive person. But at the same time, positive. Positive na alam ko kayang gawin. First of all, thank you very much. I can only express gratitude for all the support. I will not be able to finish my career without your individual and collective dedication. When I was given the opportunity to be given a testimonial parade in review by my alma mater, the Philippine Military Academy, I was given the chance to talk to the Cadet Corps. And allow me to repeat what I shared to them. First is trust the system, trust the process, trust your training. There's a reason why there are policies and regulations. Second, self-knowledge. You should continue improving yourself. Third, I will talk about standards. Not the standards set by the organization, but the standards that you set for yourself. Abide by them. It will count a lot on where you will go. Fourth is self-discipline. Not the discipline being imposed by our organization, but the discipline that you impose on yourself. You know what to do. Then the fifth, perhaps the most important, never compromise your honor and dignity. They can take everything from you. You will have those moments of being down, but never compromise your honor and dignity. At the end of the day, that is all you have left.
The life of a military man is indeed full of challenges and sacrifices, but it is also a noble opportunity to pursue a selfless and fulfilling career to serve the country and the Filipino people. To Vice Admiral Reyes, may you have fair winds, clear skies, and following seas as you retire in the AFP. Maraming salamat po sa inyong taus-puso at tapat na serbisyo. This has been Pia Gutierrez. Thank you very much for watching.
Information of the presiding officer, allow me to give the troops parade rest. Rear Admiral Espeleta, please give the troops tikas pahinga.
Aye, sir. Tikas! Ha! Tinulo, tikas. Ha!
I don't know really what to say. The call it a documentary. Actually, first time ko nakita yan. Thank you, CRS, for very good production, and of course, thank you, Pia Gutierrez, for bringing out who I am. Wala siya dito, si Pia Gutierrez, but thank you very much. Before I give my remarks, allow me to acknowledge certain personalities. Before yung mga nandito, I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge and give my profound gratitude to our Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, General Andres Castor CENTINO, Philippine Army. Palakpakan po natin si Chief of Staff. Originally po, he was set to preside this activity, but he needs to attend an equally important occasion. That's why he's out of country right now. And that is why I'm very fortunate that with us here today, our presiding officer, the Vice Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, and the Acting Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Lieutenant General Arthur Mirasol Cordura, Philippine Air Force, sir, with wife Ma'am Paula. May I also acknowledge the newly designated, the Deputy Chief of Staff, AFP, my classmate, Lieutenant General William Nadong Gonzales, and wife, Ma'am Tessa. Of course, I would like to acknowledge my one and only, my strongest pillar, ang inaasahan ko, my ever-supportive wife, Mrs. Marie Shan Reyes, and my children, Jeremiah Nathaniel and Jemima Shamel, with husband, Attorney Edward Francis Arabe. With me also here are my relatives. May I start with my father, Tony Reyes, and wife, Gloria, Tita Gloria Reyes. We are only 3 siblings in the family. I have our eldest, who came all the way from Auckland, New Zealand, our Kuya Raymond, Mr. Raymond Reyes. And our youngest, our sister, who came all the way from Sydney, Australia with her family, Mrs. Rachel Reyes Tolak, with husband Adrian and their niece Cassie. Also with us today is are my brothers-in-law. The eldest among them is Mr. Alejandro Kuya Alex Fernandez, and my brother-in-law who came all the way from the United States, Senior Master Sergeant Joel Fernandez of United States Air Force, retired. Also with us is the sister of my manugang, Attorney Arabe, Miss Ella Arabe. May I also acknowledge the major service commanders with their ladies present. May I start with the Flag Officer in Command, Philippine Navy, my classmate, Vice Admiral Toribio Jun Adasi Jr., Philippine Navy, with wife, Tin. We also have with us the Commanding General, Philippine Air Force, Lieutenant General Stephen Pareño, and wife, Ma'am Agnes. Representing the Commanding General, Philippine Army, is the Vice Commander, Philippine Army, Brigadier General Steve Crespillo, Philippine Army. At this point, may I acknowledge my military host for this activity, the Commander of the AFP Special Operations Command, Major General Arturo Rojas, Philippine Navy Marines. And of course, our troop commander is also the Chief of Naval Staff of the Philippine Navy, Rear Admiral Jose Ma Ambrosio Espeleta, Philippine Navy. may I request the best class that the Philippine Military Academy produced in 1989, the PMA Makatao class of 1989 with their ladies. Mista, please stand to be recognized. Thank you. May I also acknowledge my ever supportive, my classmates in high school from the Lourdes School of Mandaluyong, the Sons of Lourdes batch of 1984. We call ourselves the Cross Sailors. Please stand to be recognized. May I, at this point, acknowledge my other personal guest who came all the way from Canada, Brigadier General Jess Lumeda Jr., Philippine Army retired, former AJ6. Sir, thank you for coming here from Class 80. We also have with us a very supportive reservist from the Philippine Army, Captain Mel Halyar. Thank you for coming here. A very good friend who I share the passion of shooting, Mr. Tony Lim, sir. May I also acknowledge a son of a very good friend who I met way back in 1994, the owner of Dante's Tailoring, June Diaz, here represented Jose Lorenzo Tango Diaz. Tango. Ayun, Tango. Okay. I also have a very good friend throughout all these years during my N6 days. My good friend who came all the way from Australia, Mr. Robert Ewan Morris. I also have here we met a few years back. I think it was during the pandemic. Mr. Edward Del Mundo, Ed Del Mundo, with President and CEO of Logistica from Turkey, Mr. Murat Unlutork, and Mr. Inak Adi Guzel. Thank you for coming. And another set of very good friends way back in 2006. Mr. Pel Nacionales and Ricardo Sapalicio. Thank you. The members of the Joint Personnel and Special Staff and their representatives, please stand to be recognized. These, ladies and gentlemen, comprise of the 35 Joint Personnel Staff that I directly supervise, comprising of more than 25 generals of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. You made my job a lot easier. Thank you, mga kasama. Also here are the Commanders, Chief of the AAP-wide Support and Separate Units. Please stand to be recognized. We also have here the members of the AAP Officers Ladies Club and the Philippine Navy Officers Wives Association. Please stand to be recognized. Very important part, especially for my wife, who accompanies her, especially when I am away. At this point, may I acknowledge why I survived the position of TDCS. My OTDCS family, headed by Captain Jason Manaligod. Jason, please stand and recognize, along with all from TDCS. Please stand to be recognized. Kasama nila dito ang aking Chief Clerk, Chief Master at Arms, si Chief Petty Officer Helen Lapido. Thank you, mga kasama. Other distinguished guests, my relatives, classmates, and colleagues who are watching via Facebook Live, ladies and gentlemen, magandang hapon. It is with mixed emotions that I stand before you today as I bid farewell to the Armed Forces of the Philippines, the institution that I have been a part of for the past 38 years. It has been an honor and a privilege to have served our country in various capacities, and I am forever grateful for all the opportunities and experiences. I am proud of my contributions, not only in my present position as the Deputy Chief of Staff, AFP, but in all the positions I have held. But I will never achieve all of this without most of you here. Hence, I believe that in these remarks, credit is due to all of you who were there with me throughout these years. Then let this be a message of thanks, or perhaps a speech of gratitude, if I may say so. First and foremost, I would like to thank God for guiding me throughout my journey in the military. It is through His grace and guidance that I have been able to persevere through the challenges and difficulties that I have encountered. You, Lord God, is the anchor of my life. Thank you for guiding me through my career and for keeping me safe. You truly blessed me to have been given the opportunity to serve my country and my people in the way that I have. All the glory and praise I give back to you. I would also like to express my deep gratitude to the higher authorities for the trust and confidence that they bestowed in me throughout my tenure. I am honored to have served under your leadership. Thank you. It has been an honor to work alongside the dedicated men and women of the AFP. The guidance of my superiors led me to accomplish things I thought I can never achieve. Thank you for being the navigational charts of my entire journey as the TBCS. I also thank my parents, Antonio Reyes and Yolanda Reyes, Mami Oli, Dad Tony. Thank you for everything. I will be celebrating my birthday tomorrow. Celebrates also her birthday on March 19. That's why when I was born, my mother celebrated her birthday when I was born in the hospital, and she almost died due to loss of blood. Kitang-kita naman, napakalaki kong tao. Diba? Based on the stories then, especially by my father, he thought that he would lose his wife back then. But we were so fortunate that she survived birthing me, giving her many more years. In fact, 76 years before our Creator took her back. To my parents, your teachings became my valuable navigational tools in life. To my mother, who I am sure is watching over me from heaven right now, thank you po for instilling in me the values and principles that have guided me throughout. These core values became my compass in all the aspects of my life. Mami, Yoli, you will always be my North Star. I hope I made you and Daddy proud. Please forgive me. My mother passed away in 2017. I was deployed back then in Palawan. She was diagnosed with cancer more than a year before, and she knows she was about to exit this earthly life. Despite my designation in a faraway place, I requested my commander then if I could go home to spend my birthday with my family, and also incidentally to also visit my ailing mother and surprise her on her 76th birthday. But because I am in the service, that would not happen. Even if I already had my plane ticket, ganyan ang trabaho, ang buhay ng sundalo, I had to cancel my trip, not go home, and celebrate supposedly the last birthday of my mother. She eventually passed away in April, following month. May I also thank my parents-in-law, who also are both already in heaven. First, my father-in-law, Vice Admiral Professor Roberto Fernandez, AFP, who is also the 37th Deputy Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Dad Bobby, it is an honor to follow your footsteps and retire in the same position in the AFP you last held. Second, my mother-in-law, Zoraida Fernandez. Mami Daisy, thank you for preparing my wife, Shan, to be the best military wife. Or I should say, the TDCS wife. To my parents-in-law, thank you for being the pre-written journals, references, and almanacs of my career and my life with Shan. You know, I was very fortunate when I met my parents-in-law, very young officer. Ang kwento sa bahay is about military. And honestly, even if those stories were 3 decades ago, naging malaking tulong yon sa akin. Especially right now when, for the past year, that I have discharged my duties as the TDCS. To my wedding godparents, one of them attended the testimonial dinner 2 days ago, Vice Admiral Mateo Mayuga and Vice Admiral Hinco. He was not able to make it. He was also busy. To my godparents, thank you for continuously guiding me and Shan in our marriage life. We obviously learned a lot from all of you. I am proud to say that after 30 years, Shan and I remain fully dedicated and committed in our solid relationship. Thank you for all the learnings and advices. Thank you for the continued support in my endeavors. Without you all, I will never be where I am now. You are all my inspirations. You are all the rudders that kept me and Shan on track. I would also like to thank my classmates in the Lourdes School of Mandaluyong, my alma mater in high school. Some of them are here with us right now. Again, please stand to be recognized. my batchmates in high school. Thank you. Thank you, brothers. The bond we share is unbreakable, and I will always cherish the memories we have created together. Thank you for the support. Thank you for being my bow thrusters and tugboats. And I would also like to acknowledge my classmates in the Philippine Military Academy, Macatao class of 1989, for the camaraderie and friendship that we have shared throughout the years. I am proud to have been a part of such a distinguished group of individuals, and I will always cherish the memories, both the good and the challenging ones, that we have shared together. Again, please stand to be recognized, my classmates from PMA class of 1989. Maraming salamat sa inyo mga mista. You are all my lifelines, my capstans, my gangways, my flags and pennants, and all those in between. Thank you. To my staff, headed by my head executive assistant, Captain Jason Manaligod, Philippine Navy GSC, please stand. Commander Efren Ryan Fajardo, Lieutenant Commander Errol de la Cruz, Lieutenant Dana Marie Agravio, Captain Jet Mediatrix Brian Sur, Lieutenant Lawrence Anthony Aurelio, First Lieutenant Blaine Joseph Plangub, Ensign Aljon Cayetano, and the 31 enlisted personnel headed by the Chief Master at Arms, Chief Petty Officer Helen R. Lapido. Stand, please stand. Thank you for being with me in my last post in the AFP. You are my crew. The ship will never sail as efficiently and swiftly without all of you. Thank you very much, mga kasama. Most importantly, I would like to extend my heartfelt appreciation to my wife, Marie Shanaz, Shan, and my children, Jeremiah Nathaniel and Jemima Shamel, and my son-in-law, Edward, for their unwavering support and love. To my children, you are my sails. You are the reasons why I am always inspired to navigate in my career and in life in general. Shan, my wife, you are the wind beneath my sails. Thank you for your love, patience, and understanding. I love you forever. Kahit na kuminsan tinatanong mo ako. Dahil sa'yo, I am not afraid to be in full ahead on whatever course that I should take after I retire. Sean, Jem, and Jeriel, I could never have done it without you. Thank you. Throughout my 38 years of service,